What's up, guys? So, if I got 50 bucks spent on 5 keyboards, which ones would I spend on? Links in the description, so you kind of know what they look like. No particular order, completely random. Let's rock. My first choice would be the Red Dragon K55-2 because it's actually RGB instead of 7 colors. Or at least I'm hoping that it's legit RGB because of how the lighting is set up in the picture on the website. When it comes to 7 color keyboards, they tend to have this sort of line of colors instead of grouping like how it is in the pictures. In the event that this is a 7 color keyboard, before making the purchasing decision, be sure to read the return policy. Besides the lighting, I remember reviewing a keyboard similar to this one, and I like how the switches feel. I believe they are Ultemu Blue switches, and they don't feel as stiff as MX Blue, and they sound pretty okay. Also, this is a 10 keyless keyboard, so those of you that use their keyboard for both work and play probably should not pick this one up, but it really does depending on how often you would need to use that numpad. Also, it has spill resistance, so in the event if you spill your drink while playing video games, at least in theory, the keyboard should be pretty okay. I also like how compact the keyboard is, so once the COVID thing is gone and we can actually do LAN parties, this would actually be a pretty dope keyboard to bring in, show off, and then you can brag to your friends about how little you spent on the keyboard. From the looks of this keyboard, it seems like it's a really good competitor to the K55 from Corsair, so this means the keyboard is not mechanical. On the website, it says Whisper Quiet Gaming Switch, which is honestly a lot of fluff because membrane switches are pretty quiet, so unless they're doing something to make it even more quiet, I'm gonna call marketing jargon on this one. The IP32 water resistance is nice because I'm guessing that gamers tend to drink a lot when playing video games. Now that I really think about it, that's probably going to make sense because if you have a headset on, then you're talking to people while playing games, and the more you talk, the more likely you are to want to drink something. There's the volume scroll wheel and the magnetic wrist rest, so this is nice, but I'm guessing the wrist rest is probably hard plastic due to the price of the keyboard, so it might not be that comfortable, but to each on their own. For 50 bucks between this and the K55, honestly, I would say it boils down to software. Because both keyboards are membrane, the price is the same, so if the SteelSeries has better software, then the money goes towards that keyboard. Okay, this one is on sale, so the price might change when you buy it, but this is an interesting keyboard because it's 60%. Usually these types of keyboards are those that are in the mechanical keyboard community. These guys would drop like hundreds of dollars from this form factor, and to find something like this for 50 bucks, that's pretty friggin' nice. Based on the website, it says it's RGB, and based on the pictures, I would think this is RGB. It has a standard layout, which is good in case if you wanted to replace the KeyCast later on. It uses Ultemu Blue switches, and I'm starting to see a trend. I'm guessing most budget keyboard uses Ultemu switches because they probably cost less in bulk. I also noticed most of them are blue clicky switches, which is great for me because I personally love blue clicky switches, but it might not be for you. If you like something like brown switches, the cable is detachable. This is really nice because they remove a potential point of error if you plan on using this keyboard in the long run. Overall, I would pick this one up because of the form factor, and it tends to be on the more expensive side, and who knows, price might just jump, so you could potentially flip this keyboard for a profit. So I wanted to find a brown switch for this price. I was able to find this weird form factor because it's 68 keys with a non-standard layout. So finding KeyCast replacement could be a challenge. This keyboard is full RGB, so it's nice for the price, but the main issue is the layout because it's non-standard. If you don't like these keycaps, you're kind of screwed unless there's a big aftermarket for this layout that I'm not aware of. I do like the size, it's nice for LAN parties, and if you can make a macro software work with this keyboard, it does make a really good dedicated macro keyboard. If you're the type of person that edit lots of videos and you want a small macro keyboard, the font looks okay. It's more bold than most people would have liked, but this is something you can get used to. It's not like you would be staring at your keyboard when you're typing. Am I right? From the pictures, it looks like this one has a detachable cable, but I could be wrong. So if this is something you want to buy, double check the return policy before making the purchase. Otherwise, I think this would be a decent brown switch keyboard, and it's pretty good for those that like the tactility, but don't want that clicky sound. For my last entry, I wanted to find a red switch for the price, and the K582 fits the bill. This has an older design, so it's not like those floating keyboards that try to copy the K70. So those of you that like this classic keyboard look might appreciate something like this. With red switches, the plan is to play games with it, and I still don't know where or how people got the idea of red switches made for fast typing. But in my opinion, red switches are really good with games because you can double tap really quickly. The layout is standard. This is nice for those that don't like the keycaps. From the looks of the keycaps, I think this is one of those clone double shot ABS caps that you would often see from clone Chinese keyboards. Personally, I like them, but I don't think most people feel the same way. So it's nice to know that this keyboard layout is standard. This keyboard does have software, and the website shows legit RGB, so this is a nice plus. The switches are Ultemu switches, so you either like it or you hate it. Personally, I haven't tried Red's Ultemu, so I don't know. But if I have to get a Red's gaming switch and I have $50, I think I would put this one on my short list. Well, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys liked the video. It's definitely different from my usual keyboard video due to the current situation, so let me know in the comments which ones would you buy, or if you have better recommendations than I do. I'm curious to find out. Anyways, like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment for more content. You guys stay awesome.